Hello. It's the Stardock stream. We're streaming Galactic Civilizations live and in person today, as you can see. I'm Adam Buesner. Boyer, who is the lead designer, will be joining me shortly, which will be wonderful and exciting. Hopefully. I don't know. I've been bothering him today, and maybe he is punishing me for something. Anyway, live and in person, you can see on the feed, that is the Altarian survey ship.
Did you start without me?
Yes, I started without you, because it's 3 o'clock. Paul is sighing heavily at me, which I probably deserve.
People asking me questions.
He's
Is
busy
it working?
making a game or something. Yes, it's working.
Is
You
this
need
the
to.
build we made?
Yes, that is the internal build as of today. Get your microphone,
Please
sir.
don't mirror things on top of each other.
Paul, you can't hear him, but Paul is saying horrible things about the yes, it's working.
If you
The
mirror
ship that I
things on
designed.
top of each other, that's what you get.
Well, I
Give a kid a book and he'll eat the pages.
Oh, you're complaining about the Z fighting on the. Go
Oh,
back
you're
to the ship so that
Drengen?
people
I
can
wanna be Drengen?
go back to the ship, please, if you would. Just so people can laugh at my terribleness.
Oh god.
That's not that. It's down farther. That one doesn't have the amazing side bits that we totally need.
What? What's the?
Yeah, it's that one. There. See, that makes the whole ship.
Look at that.
Okay, so what actually causes that? Because I've seen that
you're
happen.
mirroring itself onto itself. See?
Ah, I see.
You don't mirror that. You
Well-
mirror this. Right? Oh, I see. But okay.
I don't actually
Yeah,
know.
So this is actually a problem, and I don't know what to do. But well, it's not a problem. Can people hear me? I know
Yeah.
I just walked in.
People should be able to hear you.
You can't take a mirrored object and add an extra level of mirror to something that is further up the tree than the base.
I see. You should get your microphone more up in your face, by the way, if you would. Thank you.
Anyways. Can I bail out of here?
Yes, do whatever you want at this point.
I want to.
I just
Is
want
this the Steam build?
no, this is the internal that we
I mean,
built
but how
this
do I restart it?
today. Oh, I just here. let me help you out.
Is it this milestone shortcut here?
Yeah. Well, it's actually no, the alpha patch on the desktop. Oh, this is truly
This is my fault. I'm the one who asked
There you go.
for you to have this build instead of the build that is being tested on Steam right this second.
Oh man, that is a way cooler 3D print. Should I show that to the
It's
screen?
kind of
do you
messed
think?
up. I don't know. Is the camera here?
It's over there because it has to be right up on the print.
Oh.
Here.
Yeah. So that's kind of chewed up. We've got a bunch of them here. There's a littler one. We're going to use those to make the cutscenes. Okay. I wanted to show people some of the stuff that is being turned on in the alpha that was never on before. Okay, so you'll notice now that we now are going to let everybody go up to small, medium, or large. You can also pick different galaxy types. So let's go a little crazy and do a spiral galaxy, which is new to Galciv 2. I mean Galciv 3. Go to large. And then go to galaxy options. Most of these are now turned on, except for a few features that are not ready for prime time, like the black holes, interstellar rifts, extreme planets. Extreme planets is almost ready, but better next build. You can change this. Everything is by default set to occasional, so all you people who were living off of anomalies and stuff are going to be very disappointed in the next build.
Oh man, you mean I'm gonna actually have to set planets to make money for
You
the
will
first
go
100
broke.
turns?
Almost immediately now.
Excellent.
I may change that to be a little less brutal, but it's literally like you can rush like 2 things and you're dead. And you're dead in the water. Okay, so let me I'm gonna just leave all these on what they are and hit start. So this is our first large map that anybody's had. I mean that the alpha players will get to play with. We still don't have huge or gigantic in. Sorry. It's crazy cottonwood season here at Stardock.
It is.
It looks like it's snowing.
See, the fun part about that though is then you can go up to like the verge of the lawn and just light them on fire, and it's like this whole fire trail that goes down. It's
I
awesome.
once got in trouble for lighting cattails on fire in a similar manner. Okay, so here is a large map. Now, here I'd like people to chime in on this great debate. See how we have all the stars available on the map? I mean, viewable on the map. This is in Galactic 2. You could see them in the mini map. There was an option in game options to turn it off. I didn't want to just leave them in the mini map because, as you can see in our new mini map, it zooms in to where you are, so you really couldn't see out far. So I like this idea of having these here. They might be a little big and obnoxious. Brad doesn't like them, so we're hotly debating this issue. My solution is make it a tech, so you have to research stellar cartography, and then they show up, and then we can have one called Stellar Sight, which will actually show the planets as well and their class, and that would be awesome, especially on a giant galaxy like this when you go, I don't want to fly all the way over here and not know what's there.
Sure.
So it's a that is my thought, but I would like to get players, whether they have grown accustomed to having them there, whether they don't like them there.
Yeah, I mean, I really like having them there because it gives me something to explore toward.
Yes.
Right? It's like a little island in the fog.
And
right?
I think Brad doesn't mind that. Brad would mind likes them on the tech tree. I mean, it was in Galactic 2. Likes them on the mini map, but I like the mini map zoomed in. And I don't want to have to add like a zoom in and out to the mini map or a pan in the mini map because I mean, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of players of Galactic 2 have been lost on the mini map by accident before. So that was kind of the reason behind that. So I'd like to get people's thoughts on that. But right now I'm leaning towards having it be a tech and maybe making them a little more subtle. Anyway, so here we have a spiral galaxy and with occasional, actually it looks like my numbers might be a little high. This is still a little crowded for occasional. You can actually, and this is not great. I probably need a better mask for this, but you can actually see that now there's this vast distance between here and we'll actually have a shape. We still have, randomization and generation, but we also have these masks. So now you could literally make a Stardock shaped galaxy or a chessboard. This is a lot of times will be great for multiplayer maps where we want to do like these, blocked out sections. You get this quadrant, you get this quadrant. In the center is the area of death. So we'll have a lot of fun with that. So anyway, so now you can see, and also you can see that performance is still pretty good. This is a large, which is about the same tile count, maybe a little bit under a huge from Galactic 2. And then we still have 2 more sizes to go. So also we're put in new, I remodeled the survey ship to be slightly less enterprisey. Might actually give that one more pass, but I'm pretty happy. This is actually, for those of you who played Galactic 1 will recognize this. This is actually much more reminiscent of the Galactic 1 survey ship. What have you showed them the new planet screen at all?
I have not. I was streaming for like a minute before you came in, so mostly just trolling about you abandoning me to my fate and throwing me the wolves on the internet.
People asking me questions about desktop apps.
I love the freaking planet screen now. I think it's awesome.
Well, that is nice. It's not done yet, but it is. I am pretty happy with it. You can see here, and I started talking about this last week before it exploded. You can see here that here's the surface of Mars. You can see the areas that are essentially what I like to call the continents. They're the areas that can be built on. And as you terraform, you can actually, what's going to happen is instead of there being different terrains like there was in the alpha, you will literally unlock a terraforming tech like you did in Galactic 2. Then you will take, you'll get a terraforming thing, say it was like this farm. I'll select it, and any area that can be terraformed, not just good ones, will show up, and you can literally, so then that way it plays into the adjacency. Like I would definitely want to put one here. Or, and here or here, and you can start building these crazy adjacency bonuses.
I gotta say, I've been messing around with this internal build for a little while now. And the planet generation is so different with the hexes actually showing up appropriately as opposed to the like straight random.
Yeah, and they're
that was
not
in the
done
original
yet.
alpha.
I mean, this is actually mostly filler data. I'm actually spending my time right now trying to fix those things.
But I mean, just having them so much better than it was in the original alpha and in alpha 2, that really improves the whole adjacency game to me. Like adjacencies are a lot more interesting, a lot more fun now than they were.
And there's a lot of stuff still to go. Like the way features are going to be added will be by the type of planet. So like I just ran into one when I was testing a couple minutes ago where I had a research bonus and a manufacturing bonus right next to each other on a planet. Well, normally I'd just build 2 factories there, but now do I want to give up that research bonus? So it adds like a whole layer of play. These bonuses are all getting rewritten though, and they're too confusing. I think I'm going to get rid of all these doubles. It's just going to be either it does it for one. It's not necessary for.
I like the ones that do adjacency though.
Oh no, I'm going to keep that.
There's some of them that you might not have seen.
But I don't want it to be this or this. It's just this is good for this. We'll also give adjacency to this.
Because there's enough of them that I don't think you really need to force that choice there, rather than just say, hey, if you want to use this for a factory or whatever.
So you'll see here I'm actually you probably won't see because the camera's there.
No, I got rid of the shot so that the players can't see.
There's the buy button here. I only have 1,000 gold right now. So that kind of ends the rush fest.
3,000 gold and just nonstop Lucky Rangers. It was awesome.
Well, Lucky Ranger hasn't been in the game for okay, and then let's take a look at the tech tree. So this is all stuff that's still being polished, but will be in Alpha 3. So
Age 2 will be in Alpha 3, right? You're not going all the way to Age 3?
What I'm gonna do, I'm actually having them add me a thing where I can just block individual text. So all the ages will be there if they are complete. I'm still waiting how quickly you can progress. Right now, you kind of have to research about half of Age 1 before you can go to Age 2.
I noticed that earlier today. Like I was definitely ready to move to Age 2. And I was still gated in having to
so
research
I need
Age
to
1.
Balance that a little better. I just started with half to see.
Sure.
So anyways, you can see here now like the specializations are visible. Hey, that's off center. That makes me angry. That is also off center. That wasn't off center.
Uh-oh.
You found a bug. Okay, anyways, it doesn't break anything other than it just looks a little weird. Okay, so you can now go through these one at a time. So we restructured the tree quite a bit. Hopefully it's a lot more clear. Essentially, colonization is everything you need to colonize or to build on colonies. Engineering is everything you need to get into space or build things.
Bigger ship hulls, crucially.
Bigger hulls, life support, sensors, warp drives, and then also to manage your ships, logistics.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it is where interstellar mining is, and carriers, and things like that. Ooh, I should probably disable carriers. So anyways, that's that. And then warfare is, of course, things that kill things and things that help you not be killed. So we have here, here's the missile weapons. One of the controversial things, which might not outlast this alpha, so I would like people's thoughts on this as well, is weapon systems. I've started with weapon systems unlocking the first 3 tiers, the first 3 lowest end of all 3 types of weapons. And then you go into specialization, and then you say, oh, I want to make my mass drivers have better range. Or, actually, what is it? Let's see, I've got...
Like your mass drivers are cost right now.
Wait a second. These are not displaying the right...
Oh, they're all cost, right? No?
Oh, yeah, no, they are displaying the right description.
Okay.
So this one's beam manufacturing cost. This one's missile mass. And these all play into whatever the strength or weakness of that type of weapon. Like missiles are the heaviest. So this can make your missiles lighter. Beams are the most expensive. This can make them cheaper. So essentially you can now automatically kind of this spoon feeds you into the idea of specializing.
Got a great question in the chat. are we allowed to have multiple specializations? And I know that we've gone kind of back and forth on this.
Yes.
As far as
No, for now you can have multiple specializations, and that will probably stay. What
You
they
think so?
will do is they get more and more expensive. So if you skip one of these on tier 1, you go all the way up to Doomray, and then go back and get this tier 1, it's going to cost you just as much as if you had got a specialization after Doomray.
Okay.
So that's our way of essentially stopping you from coming back and going bam, 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 and just picking them all up.
because that's kind of what it is right now. Because there's not really that escalating cost, I don't think, in the game.
Well, actually, costs in general, and I will say cost in this alpha will probably still be too cheap.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm balancing that, but mostly right now, it's hard for me because as a tester, I often want them to be cheap because I need to go through things quickly, and then I play it as just as a player, and I go, oh God, I got that way too fast.
Well, and right now everything's researching too fast because of the colonization events too, because you're always getting the research.
Yeah, and I really wanted to have some new events in. We've got a bunch of them written up. I just haven't put them in yet. Hopefully they'll be in for alpha, so that you're not always just getting the research bonus. But that's why Brad was getting that 19. It's like, why am I getting this giant research bonus?
Oh.
Anyway, so you can see that I have Planetary Invasion has been bumped back to Age of War, so people are going to hate that. So I am definitely going to have to lower the Age of War meaning. The status bar down at the bottom, which was also in the main screen, is probably not filling correctly. So please don't yell at me about that. We will fix it because these values escalate. So it's really like Age of War up to like the word age is Age of Expansion. Then all of a sudden it's like Age of War. And then the last like half of this thing is Age of. So we need to create a special status bar for that. Anyway, so you can see that the tech tree has got quite a overhaul. Communications, which is for some reason still labeled as diplomacy. I should fix that. This is where you get your diplomatic stuff. This entire branch here will be... Ooh, I guess I might need to leave influence. Most of this branch will be disabled because we don't have diplomacy right now. But you will be able to get to cultural influence and start building cultural improvements.
The cultural stuff actually is super helpful, I found. I was just doing some playthroughs, like I said, and man, some of those cultural buildings, and obviously there's balancing to happen.
They're probably way too powerful right now.
Oh, they're ridiculous. Like forced labor camp right now is like double manufacturing.
Yeah.
It's
well,
hilarious.
that's an ideology thing.
Oh yeah, ideology. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I always confuse
Well,
those
that's
two.
the problem is I'm moving a lot of those out of ideology. So in
Gotcha.
this alpha, there'll be a lot of double dipping, so people will be able to break the game. But hey, that's an alpha.
Sure.
There's a lot of double dipping, whereas ideology in Alpha 4 will be completely redone. Not in the methodology or just in what the
implementation of what you
and
get,
also
yeah.
the screen. I'm gonna read. I hate the screen. So then Xenocommerce will give us, trade. One of the things I do here is essentially, and you'll notice this is a trend on all of them. I go to Xenocommerce. I can go here and it says trading partners, supportive population. That's a odd name. I probably came up with that myself. Wealthy population. So essentially this is makes you generally you oh my God, is that wrong? Let's switch to a different category so I can be sure. Okay. So you'll see there's 3 branches here. There's 3 things in the specialization. These first specializations are always geared toward the 3 branches after. And then once you get into the branch, these specializations make that better. So it is essentially is like the minute you hit a specialization, you go orbital manufacturing. Do I want all my starships to hold a little bit more? Do I want them to be cheaper to make? Do I want more logistics points so I can fit more in a fleet? So those are that essentially makes it so you automatically start making decisions right away. And I think it feels really good to me at the moment. So I'm curious to get players' input on that.
Had Parrot Math, as usual, is all over the chat and asking, are there any specializations that require specific other technologies or just the direct prereq? And I know right now it's all just a direct prereq.
Yeah, specializations are all about, and as a matter of fact, all specialization bonuses are global. So there's nothing, Yeah, like you said, if I research enhanced beams, it makes all my beam weapons have longer range. Or
you never get enhanced lasers and then lose that bonus when you move up to particle beams.
Yeah, so no, as a matter of specialization should never be tied to. And matter of fact, all techs, I'm trying to avoid any sort of cross reliance on these things. One thing I didn't mention here is you can see, and this I'm still working on, is there's one tech here that's beyond this white line. That is Age of Victory or Age of Ascension or whatever I'm going to end up calling it. There are only 3 techs in that age, and those are the techs that are required to get the tech victory. So you get those 3, and then you also have to build an Ascension gate on a planet, and you win. So this way the players don't end up with oh, I didn't know he was going for it, and hey, there's a bug.
Sure. Well, because it's nice because then you can give everybody else a notification. Yeah. Hey, the Altarians have researched the super civic tech or whatever.
And also what I want to do is I want to make it so the planet that it's on starts to glow like a beacon, and then eventually it'll start shooting off light into space, and you go, that's the planet I have to go kill. And generally at that point you're probably screwed. But it'll look pretty.
So one of our people in chat here noticed a tech involving carriers and everybody got all excited.
Oh, you didn't turn off the...
I didn't turn off nothing. I don't think you want me sticking
so
my
I don't
fingers
know.
into the
I mentioned last week that we were doing batching. Well, the batching got in. It broke the ambient occlusion, which is what you're seeing there. So
batching in terms of really
batching
optimizing
is why I can now turn on large maps and you can
Right.
get 60 frames a second.
Yeah, the performance really is much better. You'll notice it.
And it's not done. Performance, we're not going to, I mean, I always get yelled at by the developers about, what is it, preemptive optimization. Beware preemptive optimization. So, but it is nice to see it starting to snap. One of the things that I did...
That ship is truly heinous.
Are you like watching? Okay, so one of the things we did is now you can see that the nebulas have a tactical icon. So look at this. Try doing that in alpha, or actually try doing it in yesterday's build.
Yep.
Yeah. These icons are probably temporary, but yeah, I see.
Was it batching for the nebulas too?
No. The nebulas are a part. So the problem was the nebulas are individual particles, and they have to be. They were a big lag when you were zoomed out. Gotcha. You would actually. But the crazy thing is now, because the batching is working, if I zoom in like this and I pan around and unlock every little thing that's in the galaxy, which I probably have already done, I can now, I don't think I have the zoom slider on, but I could zoom out, and even if I wasn't in tactical mode, I'd still be getting super great frame rate. So, and this is, like I said, this is just phase 1 of optimizing. So here's something that nobody's seen before. This is a Durantium. And why isn't it saying Durantium? Okay, that's a bug. This is a Durantium asteroid. And then if I look around here in my strangely yellow nebulas, this is an Illyrium node. Illyrium is used to make super cool laser and shield related things. And Durantium is used for making really cool armor and kinetic related things. Mm-hmm. What those things will be, you will know as soon as I put them in. But they will be in the beta. It's a balancing act. Originally, I was going to have it so like the high-end weapons all required it. But then you end up with like, well, I can't build the best thing because I don't have enough Durantium. We'll be balancing that forever. But it's pretty cool, and I'm a little disappointed that Earth doesn't have one. Let me build myself a constructor, and we'll mine something.
I had a question that's pretty interesting, I think, or an interesting discussion anyway, asking, or rather saying, commenter saying, I hope there's some advantage to make a diverse fleet over spamming the same type of ship, some kind of combined arms bonus or similar mechanic.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it all depends. If your opponent is an idiot and if you're playing multiplayer and your opponent is an idiot and designs all the same ship, then you would be best off designing all the countering ship and just killing him.
If he's too
the
deep
AI
into lasers
is doing that is our problem, and we should stop that. Yes. Matter of fact, there's going to be support modules. This is something I'm trying to get in for the alpha. Might not be until alpha 4. Where, here's a little secret. Planetary Specialization. Nobody's going to get this. They're all going to go for weapons. Planetary Specialization, Enhanced Population. That's like money in the bank. That is right there.
Is that the growth one?
That essentially gives you
Or the food
2
one?
free population on every planet you have.
I like to go for the growth one first.
The growth one is great too.
Because it takes your planets a while to fill up, especially early on.
No,
and getting
do
those
both.
colonies up.
Do both. What I'm saying is I remember I actually made those a little more powerful because I was worried that no one would go to it. And now the problem is I think I made them too powerful.
20% growth is a lot of growth, man.
I'm like, now you're an idiot not to go to Planetary Specialization. So
hey, that's what Alpha's for.
Yeah, that is. Welcome to my world. Okay.
That is one of the things I like about maybe putting stars on the map in a tech is that it gives you another direction that you're pulling the player in for those first couple tech choices, which is those are the kind of decisions that we should be.
Well, we already have
enforcing.
planetary. We already have. Oh, look here. I don't know if people have seen this. I can construct a starport here if I wanted. I'm not going to, but I can. Oh, by the way, we're changing the name of starports to shipyards.
That's fine because everybody keeps confusing starports and star.
We have all
bases.
done it. The only reason we didn't is because this damn button
is called shipyard.
has been shipyard since Galciv 2, and shipyard was an established name. We're probably going to just call this designs.
Sure.
And then you go up here, and that's where you can see your ship designs, and that's where you can design new ships. And then, so anyways, now you can see that I am now researching. This guy is now tapping this Illyrium node. It needs to be much sexier, but that is what is happening. And there, gotta turn, okay. This tab here shows how much Illyrium I'm getting, and it is unfortunately still disabled in alpha. Sarah, can you fix that? Okay, so now I am researching Illyrium, and then what I would do is now I can go into technology tree. Now that I have some, I can go up and research. Where's my beam weapons? I can now research this shield support or beam augmentation, and I can actually now build a energy accelerator, which will require 1 Illyrium, but it will make all of my beam weapons have like 50% more range. And then it also, there is a side effect of that they actually do less damage when they hit, but you get enough hits in, it doesn't matter. Then as we go up, there'll be other augments. There's and then a lot of these are also support-wide ones, so you can have a fleet that does this to everybody in your fleet, or you can have the individual ship do it. Those are all balancing. So there's shield leech, which actually eats the shields off of a ship. Oh wait, no, actually, this one just essentially ignores shields.
Shield penetration.
Yeah, so ignores half the shield, but does half damage when it gets through. But so it's a balancing thing, and it might end up being 25% less damage. And then we have other ones, shield diffuser, which eats the shields and takes them out permanently. We have more or less like that. We have a lot of things like that for each of the weapon classes, each of the shields. We have things that make your shields field augmenter. I don't remember starbase. Oh, that essentially allows your star bases to boost shields of all this. Mm-hmm. So anyways, currently the mineable resources will be for things like that, because I don't want you to be, I can't build a laser ship, but if you want your laser ship to do something special, then it's going to require a resource.
Well, because you never want to get into the situation where, like in some other game, you get to the modern age and you can't build tanks because you don't have any rubber and you're just boned.
Yeah. And the problem is, as a designer, that's what your first instinct is. It's like, well, obviously you need this, but it's not fun for the player when they run into that problem.
Which is tough because Galciv is, as it stands, pretty hyper-realistic as far as the simulation goes. So,
well, we've always pushed reality quite a bit, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, I am 100% on that side.
So what else is new in this beta? So the tech tree, and this tech tree will probably stick around.
Stop saying beta, Paul.
This alpha. This tech tree will probably stick around into the beta. After that, we're going to start doing the race-specific stuff. So, but this will give us a good idea. It should establish a pace. It'll let us know if things are too fast or too slow or too expensive. So I'm looking forward to getting players' hands on that. What else is going on here? The starports now actually have starports. All of the ships now generate. So you can see here, and for some reason the thumbnails aren't.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any thumbnails to generate in this build.
Yeah, that's the problem is they were writing to texture. We didn't want to flood the user's hard drive. So you can see that as I research tech, these ships are unlocking. I didn't design any of these. The blueprint system is designing them for me.
The blueprint system I'm actually personally super happy with.
Yeah,
it's working really well.
It's going to require a little bit of balancing, but it is very cool.
Yeah, I was playing earlier, and I didn't feel any terrible need to design my own ships. Yeah. I mean, as far as a basic, I need a laser ship or I need a shield ship.
The hardcore players who want to optimize, they're gonna want to. The people who just want to make really sexy ships, they're gonna want to. In the final game, this is kind of a feature, but I think it's already planned. You'll be able to create. Essentially, what this represents here. Let me cheat a little. We should probably turn unlock off in the alpha, but now everybody get mad at me. In the final game, there was a bug where I was getting look at that. Yeah, something's wrong here. 273 survey ship revisions. That is my fault. That is not your fault. The 50 should be at 57. Should be about as bad as they get. So, so you can see here that this thing has now added a doom ray, a nightmare torpedo, singularity driver.
Because the paladin's kind of the jack of all.
Yeah, is the paladin is essentially. A matter of fact, I put in a description, and hopefully you got him. Medium-sized combat, balanced capabilities.
There you go.
Could be the backbone of any fleet. Yes, these are Chris Buckles, who's writing us much better descriptions, and he, unlike me, can spell. Short-range combat vessel, versatile for pros and cons. That implies. Oh, that's the knight. So that's essentially the knight is essentially weird. This sword order is so weird. The knight is the tiny balanced ship, and see it. So this is like your example of you've maxed out the techs.
This is what you can fit on a tiny
You can now fit a doom ray, a nightmare torpedo, a singular driver, and one defense. And that is literally like every miniaturization tech possible. Right. You won't be doing this very often, but it is neat to see that it knows to do that. It's like, yeah, okay, I can fit these on. Gunboats, get pretty crazy. But yeah, so now these blueprints will be getting tweaked and polished. But okay, so essentially this list of ships, the bomber, the colony ship, the constructor, the corvette. Do you have any corvette? Okay, Corvette P. Corvette P is essentially a corvette with an energy accelerator. So you start seeing these. The Corvette L is the a cutter L. What is? Oh no, the cutter has got an energy accelerator. Corvette P has a shield leech on it. So essentially, and I'm going to probably come up with better than P and L. And I didn't realize I had the capability to have them all have their own thing. So I'm going to add that. But essentially, this thing really is smart at designing ships. But this is essentially what is called a ship class list. And the ship classes all point to blueprints. We're going to make it so you can make your own ship class list. You won't really be redesigning what the ships do. We want control of that. I mean, modders will be able to do it. But normal users, if you're a big-time ship designer, you can literally go through and make all of the 30 or 28 ship class hulls, make templates of them, plug them in, and then when these AI designed ships will be your ships.
Can the modders get in and change the way the blueprints generate?
Yeah.
You can say, okay, I want the knight to focus more on lasers or whatever.
Yeah,
that'll be like an XML.
It wouldn't be a knight anymore. That's just crazy talk.
The super scientific definition.
That would
of the
be a
knight
cutter.
class.
And I know that some people are gonna problem. Somebody's be like, a Corvette is not a beam based weapon; it's a fast ship. So those are things that we will optimize and tweak. But I had to come up with these names somewhere. I wanted them to be relatively realistic names. I didn't want them to be just arbitrary Deathclaw or, things like that. But players might want to. They might want to make the Deathclaw class ship, and then they can point it to the Cutter blueprint, and it'll just generate on its own. So they'll be able to do that themselves. The blueprints themselves are really so that the AI and the player can get smart ships generated for them.
Sure.
What they're called and all that is completely up to them. As a matter of fact, you can even see here, this is a little polish feature that we snuck in. I'm not sure if it's going to stay. Where is my... oh, they're all out flying around. So here's an Iridium ship. COS. I don't know what that is. Is Alan testing me? You can see that, like, we literally have... where's my ships? This is the TSS Terran Survey or Terran. What's the SS? Terran Starship. So that little tag on the front can also be customized per ship. So per race. So you can you could have the, not that I would encourage it, but you could have some sort of federation of planets that would automatically get tagged to things. Oh look, and I can see that this guy is building a scout. And I should go kill him.
Of course you should.
What is the Drengen? Oh, the Drengen don't have a working starport yet.
So they're still just using the fake
the
starport.
Altarian one. You know what? We're gonna have to tweak these a little because we can't have anything from the top visible, right? Because now I can't see what's in there. So I think this would work fine if these cross beams were on the side. So I'm gonna ask them to tweak that. But yeah, it's building a scout. So also, like there right now, there's a tag here. That's that Altarian Starbase 1. That'll be gone. I don't know if people noticed it, but you can now, actually, hopefully people have noticed this. You can actually station. I'm going to cheat this just so I have something to station. Oh, and...
Oh, we had a bunch of questions about borders and how borders work and what you'll be able to do as far as like telling people to get out of your borders and that kind of thing. And I don't know, I actually have no idea how far you've gone down the design hole on that. I know it's a ways from implemented, certainly, but
the way it works, anyways, my whole point was all star bases and starports can station ships now. So
yes,
unlike in Galactic 2 where you had to actually like stack ships on top of a starport to keep it from getting destroyed, you can just put a fleet in orbit around it, and that starbase will not be allowed to be destroyed until the defending fleet is dead.
Just like you would station them around a planet.
Yeah, it's always something I've wanted, and I wanted to make sure that worked. Okay, so borders. Okay, so the way it currently works is what I don't want is like a lot of harder end games won't let you colonize in somebody else's area.
Sure.
That is on the type of scale that this game ends up becoming would be kind of crippling. So what we do is if I go into your area, it is a negative point to relations.
Okay.
I start getting mad at you, or you start getting mad at me. If I colonize in your area, it's another like X negative points. If I keep doing it, if your influence starts growing into my area, I get madder and madder and madder. The AI will then start going, hey, I noticed you put a starbase there in my area. Well, what you doing? And then you can pay them off or whatever, So that we're going to play up more along the lines like we did in Galactic 2, where the AI is going to police it. We don't want any sort of hard rules.
Sure.
So essentially the goal is to make it so that if you do that, yeah, it's not good for your relationships. There will, however, be treaties like open borders treaties where that I can say you and I are an alliance. I can form form a treaty with you, and I don't get any negative for being in your space, and vice versa. So there's a lot of that's all going into the diplomacy game, which isn't even going to be in until probably beta 2.
Sure.
So don't worry about that. Other than we are thinking about it too much.
So that's our stream for today. You may have noticed I dropped a different kind of 3D print over into the webcam there.
That's a starport.
That's a very special starport for a different faction that you haven't seen yet. No, I actually dropped that in because I wanted to tease that I just started playing with the next internal Legendary Heroes patch, which is Legendary Heroes is another 4X game from Stardock. It's our fantasy empire building strategy 4X game, if you're not familiar, which I suspect most of you are. But it's a super cool patch, and it adds a bunch of stuff and improves a whole bunch of AI things because Brad decided he wanted to spend a couple days banging on it. And
I just got his change log. I'm like, isn't this game like 2 years old? What's he doing?
It's like a year old.
He redid like all kinds of stuff. Yes.
Brad gets excited about things, and he just decides to just bang on it. So anyway, I personally am a big LH player, and so I'm pretty happy about that. So that's a thing that'll be coming down the pipe for you guys. Hopefully not in too much time. I don't actually know what the production schedule is on it. I know right now QA is full time on Galciv, so that we can get this patch out for you guys. So yeah. Anyway, that's the deal. That's our stream for today. I love how the planets look now. They look so cool.
Well, they're not done.
I love how every time I give you a compliment on something, you're like, it's not done.
Well, the problem is that you're seeing Earth and Mars, which are done.
Sure.
But
sure. But even like on the main screen, they look cool. On the planet screen, there's still obviously a little bit of work to be done. But.
There's a lot of the generation system is in now, but all of the data to make it generate it smartly is still random.
Sure.
So, and I'm working on that. It's probably my weekend project.
Because it's not like you should do anything else with your life. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate your support as always. And we will catch you next time. Make sure to swing by the forums if you like. That's a great place to ask us questions. We can't always get to everything on the stream because obviously we have a limited amount of time. But we do try to answer things on the forums when we can.
In Galciv 2, your drive color was based on your race. This is right now just using red. Drive color is going to be determined by the type of drive you're using, and it'll have different particles and different colors and different effects. So that's going to be really exciting. You can see here that this red is here, which means we're starting to work on that system. So it's a polish thing, but it should be a sexy polish thing.
Yeah, and when we get particles and emissions and things on ships, that'll be awesome. Yeah. So cool. Next update, we don't quite have a date yet. It's in QA right now. So I mean, we should hopefully get you this patch
as
soon.
Possible.
As soon as we've verified it's not going to melt your machine.
Yeah. Although, like I said, and it is a little more done than I want to admit, but I still see everything as broken, so it's hard for me to let it go.
No explode button in this patch, Paramath. Sorry. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.